What's going on, guys? It's Byron here at ETA Wheels, and we got a little bit of a cool, I guess, I know it's been a little while, I apologize. I've been working on a bunch of different stuff, thinking of all the weird things to do. We're gonna do an Ikea review. Ikea, if you're out there watching, I love your stuff. I would love to get picked up and sponsored by you. Anyway, picked up this cool little water bottle. It's supposed to be self-locking. Leak proof. Let's find out. Yeah. A couple little drops came out, but it seals. It's good enough to take around in the car and not have to worry about it. Good enough to put my coffee in. This is called the Underscoa. And basically it's just a vacuum sealed flask. I mean, it's insulated, it's a water bottle. More important, it's reusable. Buy reusable stuff, guys. Seriously. And it actually, I know this is a weird comment to make, but it actually pulls pretty good when you're drinking from it. It's not, I've had some of these where it's like very slow to take a drink. This is good. Now I'm not sure how many milliliters this is. It looks like 400 milliliters, so that would be 13.5 ounces for you folks in America. I like it, and you know what? It was $5. How do you go wrong with $5? That's not really what we're here to talk about today, though. What we're here to talk about today is I've been thinking, how can I improve my studio a little bit? I mean, you can kind of see in my backdrop here, I've got some stuff. You can see the lighting is not that fantastic. So, enter the Lack floating shelf. Here's one. All right. It's just a simple, this was like $9. So let's talk about these for a minute, and let's talk about what they're not first. You're not going to put a lot of weight on this, okay? I think he put about, I think this one is rated for 4 kilos. Let's verify that. And then I've got a bigger one down here just off frame that I'm going to show you here in a minute. Now, if you want to spruce up your place, get a little bit of extra storage, and basically not have a whole lot of effort, well, these shelves are a pretty good way to do that. You know what? I'm gonna go get a knife and I'll be right back. Alrighty guys, we're back. So, went and got a little kitchen knife so I could open this bad boy up. Now this is the smallest shelf that they offer. Unfortunately, they didn't have it in black. I really wanted a black one. Might have to get some vinyl and wrap that in the near future here. But let's talk about what it is. So this is the Lack shelf, and it is made by Ikea of Sweden, and it is part number Whiskey 2021-02-22 or something like that. Comes with a little instruction guide, nothing fancy. Okay. Wipe and clean with a cloth, damped in a mild cleaner, wipe dry with clean cloth. That's how you clean it. Unfortunately, I was hoping that it would give me the load rating on this, but I really can't see more than putting about 5 kilos on here. And that's being extremely generous. So now I've got the big dog. That's what it looks like from behind. And as you can see, this one's in black. So, what I'm thinking, if you look behind me here, I'm trying to improve the background a little bit. So let's swing you up and take you for a little trip. We're gonna put the black shelf right across here, and we're gonna put one of those white shelves over here, and we're gonna put the other one over here. Now what I'm thinking we're gonna do is, a little bit later on, not this video, but we're gonna get some RGB lighting to give it that nice glow effect in the background. And then I'm looking at a little neon sign to go here, and a little neon decoration to go here, and then something kind of cool to go up there. I figured it'd make kind of a cool, you know, kind of a cool background, something more interesting than just a plain white wall. When I get to the point where we install the LEDs in these things, expect a DIY video. So this will be the left shelf, and just to kind of show you what it looks like, I'll show you here. I haven't exactly decided where, but it's going to be somewhere about here. Then the other one's going to be somewhere about there. And I'm just going to put some nice little, the stuff I'm looking at is like neon signs, something kind of cool, you know, give a nice little RGB kind of light in the back, maybe a little bit of yellow, maybe a little magenta, maybe a little blue, something kind of cool. But I'm going to go ahead and do that. And you can see I've got Miss VA Beach over there. And then I've just got my table full of junk in the back. So, moving on. Back to the shelves. Damn it, cut my head out. Sorry about that, guys. All right. So, this shelf, the way that this mounts, I've used many of these over the years. These are probably one of my favorite little interior decorating things to do. Got all these cool little holes for mounting. Now, this particular shelf, I believe this one does give the load rating. And let's check. Okay. So, if we use the correct type of mounting screws, we can put 15 kilos, which is 33 pounds. So that's pretty cool. Now, the reason I chose a big black shelf to go in the middle, and then a couple of little white shelves on the side, when I got to thinking about how I'm going to do this lighting, right, I want this bad boy to stand out in the middle, and then I kind of want those two white shelves to just kind of be invisible, so that you don't really see the shelf, you kind of just see what's on the shelf. And I think that's going to be a really cool effect. Now, I went with the bigger shelf because I want to span the gap, and because I'm going to cut my head off here. That's okay. When we do go to install the LEDs, what we're going to do is we're going to hog out this part across here, and we're going to install an LED strip in it. Or, depending on, you know, what LED lights are available when I go on the market, I might put a like an aluminum guard or an aluminum guide, if you will, here, and then install the LED lights so they fire back towards the wall, and that'll give it a pretty cool glowing effect. Now, this is hollow, so I'm actually going to cut a good chunk out of the top where you're never going to see it, and I'm going to run all of the wires out to my side shelves. I'm going to drill a little hole here, drill a little hole here, and then I can run the wires up there. And I'm going to use probably some very small gauge white wire, and then hide it in a nice little conduit. And then that way, whenever I want to power these lights, because I don't have an outlet over there to plug into. So all of the lights that I'm getting are going to be battery operated or USB operated. And I'm going to be able to take the, what do they call those things? The battery packs, the power bank. There we go. I've noticed that Amazon has got the 10,000 milliamp hour power banks for sale, and they're like 14 bucks over here. So I'm going to get one, and then I'm going to be able to run all of my lights off of that. So whenever I want to film a video, just plug it in, switch them on, and away we go. When I'm done, I unplug it. It's not the best solution. But it is a solution, and it's one I think that'll work fairly well, at least until I can get, I don't know, maybe a 20-foot long USB cable to power everything, which I know you can find them, but I really think that's kind of a worse solution. I think this would be a better idea. Just me. Like I said, I've been thinking about this for a while. So I'm going to go ahead and lay out step by step how we're going to do this. It's important to note that on these brackets there's two little holes here and here. That is the bottom of the bracket. So what you do is you center this up where you want it, and then I'm going to do 2 and 2 and 2. So there's going to be 6 screws total holding this onto that wall. 6 screws and anchors. And then if you take a look here, you see that little hole there? There's a pair of screws that come with it, and those go up into there and into here so that you don't accidentally pull this off of those rods. Now these, on the other hand, are a little bit of a different style. These are going to be a little bit more challenging to mount because I can't just pop it out. You know what I mean? So I'm going to have to measure, mark it out on the wall, and then we're going to go ahead and put the anchors in, and I'm just going to do 2 anchors, obviously. That's all I can do. But it's not a particularly heavy shelf. I'm going to check this one more time because it really should have a load rating on here. Ikea, you guys are like safety everything conscious. I know you've got a weight limit on this thing. I want to say when I was in the store it was 5 kilos, which is like 10 pounds, and that makes a lot of sense. So that's what we're going to stick with. But the stuff that I'm putting up there, the stuff that I have kind of planned out in my head, it's going to be maybe 4 pounds tops. And we're just going to put the light, and then we're going to put the light on it. And then I might build up a little bit of a lip later on to go around it, and then wrap the whole thing in black vinyl, and that gives me my black shelf. But let's see how it looks. Let's see how it looks with the white shelves. Again, I didn't have a choice. It's what they had when I went, so I didn't want to order it. I didn't want to take forever and wait. So yeah, let's get to it. And I wasn't going to do a DIY video, but you know what? I think I'm going to do a DIY video today. So let me get everything repositioned. I'm probably going to switch to my DJI camera. So yeah, quality might go down a little bit, but we'll see. We'll see. We'll take a look at it. We'll see what we can see and show you guys a little bit how to do it. Show you guys, for those of you who've never had to drill into concrete, I'll show you what that looks like. I've got a pretty cool drill. So we'll be back in a few minutes. Alrighty guys, so I'm going to show you how we're going to do this. Now, this opening is not exactly square behind me. what we've got looks like 110 centimeters or 43, about 43 and the hell? Oh, let me get it straight. That's why. There we go. A little over 43 and a quarter. I hate you, inches. The metric system is better, so we're going to be using the metric system from here out. So this is 110 centimeters. So as best I can gauge, right about here is going to be as close to center as I can get. And that's with 5.5 inches over here and 5 inches over here. I could shift it 1/4 inch, but I really don't care. Nobody's ever going to notice 1/4 inch. So next thing that we're going to do is mark some holes for our bracket. Now I've already made reference marks up there just to make the first part of this easier so you don't have to see me. You know, and I'll show you anyway. You just kind of figure out where you want it. Keep your orientation right. And then I figured out that this is these 2 marks right here, which you can't see on the camera, but there's 2 little marks right here that are going to keep me pretty much exactly where I want to be. And that's as close to center as I'm going to be able to get it. It won't be exactly perfect, but it'll be as close to perfect as it really needs to be. So now that we've made that, we're going to make a reference mark here. So we're going to measure the shelf. All right, cool. So we're going to measure the shelf, right? So from here to here is 11.5 inches, basically to the center of that hole, and it's exactly 1 foot or 30.5 centimeters to the edge of this. So this is what we need to pay attention to, because we have our 2 posts here and here that have to line up. So now, there we go. We're going to hold this up to our reference marks. And when you measure it, this is what it works out to. I don't know if you can see those reference marks on the wall, but this is what it works out to. So now, I'm going to have to come up just slightly. We're going to put a hole here. 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 And we're going to put a hole here. And that way, that shelf is going to go exactly where we want it when we want it to. So now I'm going to go get the ladder and the drill. I'll be back in a few. Alrighty guys, so now we're just going to stick our wall anchors in, all of our finished holes. Again, Bob Vila I'm not, guys. I'm just a dude on YouTube. Alright. Now, go ahead and change this out. We're going to use our number 2 cross tip. We're going to set it to the screw function. And we're going to adjust our torque. This is your little torque for the clutches. We're going to adjust it down to number 1. And we're going to start there. Grab our bracket, making sure that the holes are oriented down. Please don't be one of those guys that puts screws in your mouth. Please don't be one of those guys. Anyway, a little tired today. I got my third dose of the COVID-19 vaccine. This is the Sinopharm variant. So, not exactly my happy, chippy, normal self today. And for that, I apologize. All right. Again, maintaining proper drill technique. We're just going to run these down, but we're not going to run them in all the way. We're going to leave it a little bit loose. We're just going to leave them a little loose. I ran the top one in the center down just to make it a little bit easier on me, so I don't have to hold this thing up over my head. But so far everything is pretty much perfect where I marked it, so that makes me happy. Now we're going to do these left-handed, and if you notice, I'm using that same technique. We're going to run that in. Run that in. Remember guys, these don't need to be super mongoloid tight. That is plenty of torque to hold this. Some of you guys are out there, oh, you gotta give it all the Ugga Duggas. No, you don't. If you're one of those guys, seriously, go educate yourself. Now, line it up. One hole, two holes. Look at that, guys. We got a shelf. So we'll go ahead and put these retainer screws in. That actually looks pretty good. I know it looks a little off center. Let me give you a better angle. You're also kind of looking at it not straight. So let's show you here. There's that side, and there's that side. So I'm a little bit off. We're going to make a small adjustment. We're going to make a little adjustment, and that's cool. That's why those slots are in that bracket, and that's why I told you. Don't superhero tight them. So what I'm going to do, back these out a turn or three. Alrighty. Okay, so now the bracket's loose. We're going to shove it all the way that way. And that's pretty much where we're going to want to be. There we go. You notice there is a slight bow to this bracket, and there's not a whole lot I can do about that because this wall is not actually square. There we go. So now we've run those in. Again, that's torque setting number 1, which is pretty much all you really need. There we go. Alrighty, so we shot for a little bit more precision with the next two. We measured exactly 12 inches down. This is going to be the top of the shelf. This is going to be the top of the shelf over here. This is the bottom, so this is at 14 inches, here and here. And we got to come in 4.5 centimeters and come down 1.5 inches. And we're going to do the same here. Come in 4.5 centimeters, come down 1.5 inches. And we've done the same over here. So now, we just got to drill ourselves some holes. we'll be back. Alrighty, so there we have it. It's not ideal. Got a little bit more work to do, getting everything to level out. But there we go. Looks pretty good. And the most important thing is that the shelf is more or less invisible, which is what we were going for. So now I'm going to have one little light up here, have a little something cool up here to look at, and I'm going to have another little light over here. Actually looks a lot better than I thought it would. Well, to give you something cool to look at. On the level shelf. There you go. Kind of cool, huh? This is Byron from ETA Wheels, and hopefully you have learned what not to do when hanging an IKEA shelf. That one came out more or less about perfect. It's not exactly centered, but you know what? It actually looks better this way, I think, on the camera, to be honest. And these little guys over here, we're gonna fix those little guys, don't worry. So next time you see it, it'll be level. This has been Byron, and you have yourselves a wonderful day.